And you're live.
Okay, good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. I guess it depends where you're watching from. So if you are watching, I appreciate you turning up. This is actually my first ever engagement as an author, so I'm very thankful for you being here and also very nervous to be here, but I do appreciate it. And so, oh, sorry, I've got a bit of playback on from my end. I need to mute myself. There we go. Sorry about that, technical difficulties. So I hope everyone's been watching QuaranCon so far, and I hope you've been having a good time. I'd just like to say thanks first to Claire for helping me on the tech side. She did tell me to mute things, but there you go. Thanks also to Virginia, David, and everyone who organised QuaranCon as well. It's been really great so far. I've watched a load of good content. But yeah, like I said before, as you might notice, I'm pretty nervous. It's the first time I've done anything like this. And also it'll be the first time I've read my novel aloud, other than when I edited it, of course. I actually read poetry at my wedding a couple of months ago, so you would have thought with the pressure of that day, I'd be used to this, but I'm not sure I ever will be. Anyway, so I'm going to stop waffling now and introduce myself. So my name's Dan or Daniel, and I write under the name D.A. Smith. By day, I work in an editorial department for a chemistry journal, so nothing really to do with my writing, as I tend to veer towards the dark and epic fantasy, which is what I'll be reading for you today. So what I'm going to read for you is a chapter from my debut novel, The Blood of Outcasts. But this, so soon to be revamped, this is soon going to be the old cover, so I hope you're going to look out for that. I'm really quite proud of what we've been working on. The book itself is about Masako. She's a warrior whose clan was destroyed, and it's all her fault. It's totally the mistakes she's made, and well, she's not a character who really learns from mistakes. She instead tries to burn everything down around her, even with the second chance she's given at life. She's full of pride. I kind of wrote the character to be overclocked in that particular attribute because I thought it'd be great to explore what happens if a character funnels everything through first their own pride. What kind of decisions do they make? And generally being kind of an anti-hero or a villain, I guess if you read it, you'll decide it's all right for the writer to say, oh, she's an anti-hero, but she might be completely something different to you. And as for trigger warnings, I just thought before I begin reading, I'll let you know that there is gore and description of injuries at the beginning of the novel. So I'm going to read you the first chapter, like I said. It's pretty intense because that's, I don't know, I think that's a pairing between Masako and I. But yeah, just so you're aware, there is some gore in there. So what I'm going to do now is I will start the reading. So hope you enjoy. My wounds throb as I'm battered by the ferocity of the Kurasam's waters. Crying out in pain is futile. I gasp for air, swallowing more of the murk. Honor won't allow me to surrender to my wounds. Not when I've got more blood to spill. My katana has not tasted its last. The cursed souls will not climb to the heavens in smoke and ash. I'll send them to the mountains where the demons eat. Agony. Trying to grab anything, I spin through the waters. A spindly root reaches back. I clutch it. Softened by the waters, but strong because that's the way it was made. It does not hold me back. I cling to it with the rest of the life that spills from my belly. That pours from my neck into the rush. I fight, like I always have, and force my other hand through the water, clutching the gnarled root. Hard, I pull. Gods, I pull. A fire burns in both my lungs now. Not the kind that warms me, but the kind of fire that ignites the cool flame of the death god's servants around me, the flames of reckoning or finality. But I pull once more, and bright light pierces through my eyes. The rush of water louder now, I splutter. The dead flames recede, and life, by its own small measure, floods back into me. A gargle, air escaping through the gash in my neck. I'm not able to satisfy my bodily need. If only for the pain itself, I want to die. A tuft of grass between my fingers. Long grasses that master love. The reeds that sway as the gentle breeze caresses them. He's gone. I scramble up the bank, a pitiful beast, my stomach wound and the unraveling organs, pull and tug. If I could, I'd scream like a horse-headed demon, but I gargle again. Gnawing a hole in my cheek, I try to redirect my focus, but it's useless. I'm resolved to it. I must live. My blood spilling around me will be my salvation. With my last breaths, words on my tongue that I've somehow always known, I deny everything. What are the teachings of a dead man worth anyway? I slide my hands between me and the earth. I wince, but what is pain now? Freeing my hand, I chant the strange chant, arm outstretched, my bloody palm imprinted into the ground. Eternal, I say, my approximation of speech is but a garbled mess. I wish they'd know me now. The gods, anything. What use is my accursed blood? Impossible. Something responds. I feel its wickedness through a gulf of distance. Worlds, heavens, stand between us. Damn it all. Come, take my life, drink it, I beseech thee. By the power of my accursed blood, pass into this realm or end it all. I do not care. No lightning strike, no great power, no burst of energy. Nothing the heavenists would have you believe. My skin crawls as if something walks over my grave. Stomach cramping, I retch, but there might be the gaping hole sending a cascade of daggers throughout my body with every breath. A white blast, a pit of the west black. Something has come. Something does tread my resting place. Are you? Your senses. Can you hear me? A chuckle, then a cacophony of familiar animalistic screeches overlaid into a voice crisp like the first frost, deep like the thunders. Near death. But you opened this gate, though not as grand as you think. Not nearly. It pauses, spits, stubborn, trouble. A malleable puppet, perhaps. Why should I just not let the life leak out of you? You've broken the first treaty, so you have my... I interrupt. What I want to say is lost to hacks and sputters, yet it is amused. I have its attention. It begins again, its voice raking through my mind. It knows not what I cling to life for. Funny creature, let me help. Intriguing creature, easily done, yes. But why? My throat warms. The scratchy grating subsides. I gulp. Let me avenge my honor. The peoples beneath the dragons. God's the pain. I stop as lights dance in my vision. My throat is the least of my worries. Not that I see anything, not that I even know this creature's form, but I feel it. I can only pack tightly into a cage. His presence is too much, too overbearing. A god spawn, it has to be. But one far beyond anything I've known. What have I done? The dogs scurry under the dragon's watch. They yap, bark to their own tune. They forsake the gods and worship one man, but he's not a man of the gods. Let me at least strangle the cur and silence. Very well. But human, you will be bound by that wish. You will not live a minute after you're done with this petty task. It chuckles and screeches. Excitement wells around me. Pins prick in every pore. Thump, thump. It parades around, a foot grasps my face, picks me up by the head, peeling me off the ground in agony. It brings me up to face it blow. I can't focus, taking its form. Its breath's hot against my skin, its presence peeling away my sanity. I have but one other condition. You will not leave these lands without a leader. Do not presume to think you can do this in haste, mortal. You will shatter the lands and rebuild them in my stead. You will break apart the godless and depose their man. You will bring the crown of the gods back to this land, and as apostle of the heavens, prepare the throne in my name. O God, Lord, no, that will be crushed. It will be an emperor that unites Spatial's lands. You are the instrument who will bring the unity I need. Rend it apart. Open the gates once more. But die here and be done with it. But if you want to live, want to regain your foolish honor, you do it under my rule. The words washed away the pain, igniting the fire within me, burning death's grip away. Entertain me if you will. I'm bored of waiting for my own to come back. The brightest light spits my vision, the blackest dark sucks me into the depths, and I fall with nothing to hold into the void of madness. I open my eyes, dazed. Each finger in turn I flex. The patter of some animal joins the rush of the waters behind me, but is gentle now, more soothing than before. I open my eyes again, bright light floods my vision, like the flash of the life I clung to. I'm reborn, but into what? Into a world without anything I love. Into a world where only the anger master tried to curb will reign supreme. Did anger bring this upon us, master? Did you blame me in the end? Did you wish that knife would cut me deep, deeper than I could survive? Those foolish words were not yours in the end, no. You were scared. You wouldn't wish that upon me, but I will live it nonetheless. My eyes focus. I scan the area and see I barely made it out of the reeds. Ahead of me, the earth is imprinted with the only evidence things are out of my control. The treaty was there to balance, was there to give humanity its due after the victory. But now I've rent that asunder. I shiver, shaking to the very core at the thought of a godspawn that could restore life. What have I wrought? My accursed blood should never be drawn. I squint as the sun sends its tendrils through the land. Lances of deep yellow split through the forest that loom further up the bank. Evergreen sentries guard my way forward. I rise, stagger, but pull through the haze as I right myself. Looking down at my body, my heart flutters, and I stupidly grab at the tattered white robes now dyed crimson. Death was meant for me. Maybe I'll never truly live again. The blood staining then is now the only evidence I have master existed. Fingers run the rivets of my scars across the line where my stomach was slashed open. Nothing. I follow it all the way from one side to another. It was as mortal as a katana stroke that tore open my neck. But that is no more. Gone. As if life never happened. Fingers twitching over the thick, black, ungodly line. It shimmers with something not of this world, a sulphurous bite that snaps at me. Magic beyond mortals, a godly bind. I throw myself back down the bank, struggling to get my breathing under control, stumbling into the water. It engulfs me once more, sinking into the bottom. The yearning for air is painful but liberating. The thump thump of my heart in my ears terrifying. I'm alone now. I have my honor. No, I need to regain my honor. I'm a warrior of the Tory. You will pay, Fox. You will all pay. Emerging from the waters, the droplets strip off me, and so does the pity, the sadness I feel for myself. Because now it is only anger, a wildness that won't give in until they are all gone. Godspawn, whoever you were, I will do it. I'm resolved to the war you wish to bring. But do not expect subservience. A leashed tiger is ferocious still, even with its reach shortened. Yet, it would have no trouble turning to devour its captor. The leash only works one way. As I drag myself from the waters, I turn back to look at my reflection, trying to piece it together in the shimmering surface. Skin taut and yielding on my neck in an ugly black scar, I flinch away. The same ethereal quality to it as the others, hair slicked around it, blending in. Wishful thinking I was named the hawk for decisive, sharp, and ruthless command. Purse my lips and spit at the reflection, laughing to myself. If my lips were fuller, maybe I would have been able to make the living as those that Ibo loves, the simpler life. I hack and wheeze as the laughter takes hold. A tear streaks down my face. Master always said he was glad he didn't have to chase men away. No great family would waste a son on a hawkish woman who doesn't recognize it for herself. A warrior first, whose thighs were built for squeezing life out of men. not for inviting them. He was a son of a whore if I ever knew one. A smile tugs at the corners of my mouth, and it will be my last. Tearing a strip from the ragged edge of my robe, I tie them close to me, for my honour may yet be hard won, but I can at least have my dignity intact. I go to my side, grabbing desperately for a hilt out of habit. It's second nature, and I recoil when I don't find it there. The scar on my chest pulses, and I grasp at it, sucking on my teeth as I fight back a sob. My head is a mess as I try to grasp the images of my death. I'm only here now because of the scar, the wound that Master gave me in his final moments, the path he carved for me in my own blood. Striding forward, the grasses rustle as if the wind is caressing them. I gust through them with all the elegance of the elements. I have one job now, one measly job before I can rest. I'll cut them, the lords and their women. I'll crush the Lord Council piece by piece, and I'll break him, the God Lord, the dog who started this, that greedy whoreson. But first, those who were happy to be the impetus behind his wrath will know I live. The field clans thought my ire would end in a river. No, they will know I still walk this land. My body aches, and it's because it's missing a limb. Vital organs, Crowkiller and Hirewolf, my pair, my loves, my swords. I'm coming to get you. Mother is coming home. Right, so that is done now. I hope you enjoyed that. I have to wind down a bit from channeling Misako there. She's a pretty intense character. But yeah, so I will wait around now to see if anyone has any questions. Thanks, Trudy. Thanks, Claire. I appreciate that. That's really nice. So my greatest influences and what I'm reading now. At the moment, I'm reading, I just finished a book actually. It was A Brightness Long Ago by Guy Caverill Kay. It was my first of his, actually. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. His writing is absolutely phenomenal. I'd say my influences are, I guess fantasy authors like Guy Gavriel Kay, Pierce Brown, kind of made me. I'm a bit of a Red Rising fanboy, so his books kind of encouraged me to read a bit more, although they are very different to my own writing. I'm also influenced by Gareth Hanrahan. I love everything he did, and Adrian Selby as well. His books are phenomenal, and yeah, they'll forever influence me. No, I don't have a background in drama at all. I guess I just kind of fully channeled Misako there for that reading. But this was my first time I've read anything like this out, so yeah. Oh, so a question from Trudy: were there any films or video games which inspired the Blood of Outcasts? So yes, the entire, well, it was the Rurouni Kenshin trilogy about a wandering samurai, which is just recently they've released 2 more films. So really, what this book is a love letter to Rurouni Kenshin. Likewise, it was heavily influenced by the Rurouni Kenshin manga, Bleach, Naruto, all of those. If you've read any of those comics or watched those films, then you'll probably be able to pick some things out. Thanks, Andres. Appreciate it. Just wait to see if there's any more questions. I realise we're getting close to the end now. Okay, so I think that probably looks like it for the questions. So what I want to say is thank you for everyone who came and watched. Thanks to everyone who asked questions. thanks to the organisers of QuaranCon. I'm really thankful for this opportunity, as I realise I'm not a well-read author, so hopefully this puts my work in front of some other people. But yeah, thanks a lot for coming. I believe following this, there's a panel on swearing in SFF, so I hope you'll join me in watching that, as I'm looking forward to it. But thanks again for everyone watching, and take care.